Good morning. It's Tuesday, June 10th. Here's what we're working on this morning. The latest probe into the company behind the controversial ArriveCAN app is among 4 reports being released today by Canada's Auditor General.
Canadian military has evacuated more than 700 people from northern Ontario because of ongoing wildfires. And the
Florida Panthers take the lead in the NHL Stanley Cup Final.
Still confident, though, about Edmonton?
Yes.
Okay, I am too.
Got to stick with them.
I am too.
Yes. Your shirt color is almost the same color as the strawberry moon that I saw this morning.
See, he segued.
Yes.
Nice. That was a beautiful moon
It was
this
gorgeous.
morning.
Yeah. Brian, did you miss it?
I was telling Rick earlier I was on toad patrol this morning.
He was.
Because the dog went out, BZ went out first and scared a toad out of the garden. So when I come out, I got to look down and make sure I'm not stepping on a toad in the dark. And I didn't look up to see them.
No toads were harmed in the filming of the show.
I'm doing the dance around the toad, trying to go out the back door. Jeez, and I missed it. Tomorrow, I'll see it tomorrow morning because the sky's going to be clear overnight tonight.
Okay,
so,
that's
nice.
good. That's good.
That bodes well, doesn't it?
And all the toads are fine.
Yeah, no toads were injured in this morning exit, so we're okay there. Okay, and to start the morning off, we've got some sunshine here, so that looks good. Looking good so far today. Temperature right now sitting at 12. Going to be a little warmer today. We should hit 22, humidex around 25 degrees. Sunshine will start, and then there's a chance of a shower or a thunderstorm later in the day today and then tomorrow. Beautiful sun, and it's going to be quite warm for the day tomorrow, and we'll talk about that coming up. All right, let's have a quick check on traffic. Not a lot happening, of course, this time of the morning. 403 Waterdown Road, doing fine right there, looking good. Check our other cameras. Here's Nikola Tesla Boulevard, so Toronto-bound lanes heading toward the Skyway away from us. Top of the Skyway, Burlington bound, or Toronto bound, I guess, away from us still here. But now Toronto bound coming towards us at third line, and there's no problems on the roads right now. So that's good. We'll look at weather and traffic, of course, coming up in a few minutes for you. Right now, the news.
All right, thanks, Brian. Canada's Auditor General is set to release details from the latest probe into the company behind the controversial ArriveCAN app. Simone Gavros joins us live from Toronto Pearson Airport with the details. Simone, good morning.
Good morning, Rick. There have been other reports looking into the ArriveCAN app, but this one is going to be focusing specifically on the contracts that were made and the payments made as well to GC Strategies. They're also going to be looking into whether the government policies were followed and whether the money that was spent on this app was in the best interest and used properly for Canadians. Now, the ArriveCAN app was launched back in April 2020 at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was focused on mainly a way to track health and contact information as well as immigration declaration for those coming into Canada. A previous report found that government mismanaged the development of the app, allowing the cost of the project to balloon to $60 million. GC Strategies received nearly a third of the total, despite being awarded contracts through non-competitive processes. The first contract was initially valued at just $2.35 million. Now, the two-man team was banned last week from entering into contracts with the federal government for 7 years over this app conversation that we've been looking into. Now, the Auditor General is expecting to release her report later today at 10 a.m. and we'll get all those details about what's everything behind the ArriveCAN app. For now, things back over to you, Annette.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, a government push to steer both sides in the Canada Post dispute to common ground has hit a snag. Canada Post has rejected a framework put forward by the Canadian Union of Postal Workers for binding arbitration. It is something that Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu had asked both sides to work toward last week. A Canada Post spokesperson says the union's refusal to recognize the Industrial Inquiry Commission report and its recommendations in their proposed terms of reference for arbitration is unacceptable. The report called for big changes, including more flexible routes and weekend positions.
The family of the 29-year-old man who tragically died at the Welland Speedway track is in mourning. Tyler Sagan died Saturday night in an accident while riding his bike during a flat track race at the Welland County Motorcycle Club. Sagan's wife and brother reflect on his passion for riding, and Sagan's son, Reddy.
His passion for the sport was unmatched to any competitor out there. Tyler lived, he breathed racing. It was in his blood. That's all he wanted to do. That's all he ever talked about. That's all we've ever done our whole lives is race bikes.
Reed will never know his dad. He'll never know what it's like to watch his dad on the track, and he'll never get to experience or grow up with Ty.
Niagara police say an investigation into the crash is ongoing.
Niagara police are asking for help finding a St. Catharines teenager. 16-year-old Jada Belgobin was last seen 2 weeks ago near Start Me Up Niagara. It's a social services program in St. Catharines. At the time, she had dyed red hair. She is white, 5'2", with a thin build. Jada also has ties to Beamsville and to Simcoe County.
A vulnerable teenager from Milton has been missing since Sunday night. Halton police say 15-year-old Prajan Anbanadan was last seen in a neighborhood near Thompson Road and Louis St. Laurent Avenue in Milton. He has brown skin, is about 5'4" with a thin build, and was wearing black cargo pants and a black jacket. He may be riding a blue and black bike. There was a sighting of him near Guelph Line and the 401 very early on Monday morning.
Canadian military has evacuated more than 700 people from northern Ontario, where a major wildfire is threatening a First Nation. MPP Sol Mamakwa posted these photos on his Instagram page. National Defence says Hercules aircraft are airlifting people out of Sandy Lake First Nation. Thousands of people across Canada have fled from raging wildfires, prompting Saskatchewan and Manitoba to both declare a provincial state of emergency. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says firefighters from the U.S. have also been called in. Federal government is speeding up and meeting NATO's spending target of 2% of our gross domestic product this year. Prime Minister Mark Carney announced his commitment at Fort York in Toronto, fulfilling a long-awaited promise to NATO. It's also a target that the Canadian government hasn't hit in 35 years. The new spending plan for defense includes billions of dollars in new armed forces recruitment, strengthening military capabilities, a new industrial strategy, and diversifying our partnership with the United States. When asked how the government plans to cover the new costs, Carney says he won't have to raise taxes.
We have just begun the process to look for savings in government, to improve government productivity, to reallocate spending across government.
The White House and NATO Secretary General are now demanding more money from NATO allies, a defense hike of 5% of real GDP. Carney says he's confident that they can meet the higher demands. Canada will host the G7 summit next week. NATO's next summit is a couple of weeks from now. Another 2,000 U.S. National Guard troops are heading to Los Angeles, along with 700 Marines on orders from President Donald Trump. The escalated military presence there comes days after protests broke out in L.A. in response to Trump's stepped-up enforcement of immigration laws. Police and California Governor Gavin Newsom are opposed to this escalating military presence, which LA's chief of police says creates logistical challenges for the safe handling of protests.
We need to stop the raids. This should not be happening in our city. It is not warranted, and the only thing it does is contribute to chaos. This was chaos that was started at Washington, D.C. On Thursday, the city was peaceful. On Friday, it was not, because of the intervention of the federal government.
And anti-immigration protests are popping up across the United States. California is suing the Trump administration to block deployment of the National Guard and the Marines on Monday, arguing that it violates federal law and state sovereignty.
It's time for Sportsline, and the Edmonton Oilers like to forget last night ever happened.
Here's Lundell off the face-off, in behind the net, trying to throw it in front. Took it for the home. Marchand scores. He's got another, and it's another early goal in the Stanley Cup Final.
That was just the beginning. Brad Marchand scored 56 seconds after puck drop, while Carter Verhaeghe and Sam Reinhart netted their first goal of the series as Florida blitzed Edmonton 6-1. Sam Bennett added his playoff-leading 14th goal and 4th of the series to give the Panthers a 2-1 lead in the Stanley Cup Final.
Emotions in all of these games are extremely high. You know, and obviously this is the time of year you want to be playing and you're enjoying every minute. So, you know, it doesn't really matter what happened tonight. We both have to reset and worry about the next one now.
Oilers goalie Stuart Skinner was yanked early in the third period after allowing 5 goals on 23 shots, while Sergei Bobrovsky was solid again for Florida, making 32 saves. Edmonton now has 48 hours to regroup before Game 4 on Thursday in Sunrise. With Vancouver and Seattle joining the PWHL next season, the league held its first expansion draft last night.
With the first pick in the 2025 PWHL expansion draft, Vancouver selects defender Ashton Bell from the Ottawa Charge.
Ashton Bell is a 25-year-old defender from Deloraine, Manitoba, who spent the first 2 seasons in the league playing for Ottawa. She had 3 goals and 3 assists in 27 regular season games with the Charge last season and added a goal and an assist in 8 playoff appearances. Vancouver signed Hamilton's Sarah Nurse last week after she was left unprotected by Toronto. After 16 seasons in the NHL, TJ Oshie is hanging up his skates. The 38-year-old did not play this season because of a nagging back injury. He spent his first 7 seasons in St. Louis and helped the Capitals win the Stanley Cup in 2018. The Blue Jays started a series in St. Louis last night with a 5-4 win over the Cardinals. Alejandro Kirk had 4 hits, including a home run and the go-ahead RBI double in the 10th inning. The Cards scored 4 times in the 8th inning to erase a 3-0 deficit, but the Jays tied the game in the 9th on Jonathan Clase's first homer of the season.
The time to watch for is a 2:06.12. McIntosh is on fire. Head down to the wall. It is. She destroys it again. Destroys that world record. 2:05.70. The first woman ever under 2:06 in the 200-meter individual medley.
Summer McIntosh broke a world record at the Canadian swimming trials in Victoria, BC. The 18-year-old from Toronto won the race in 2 minutes, 5.7 seconds, breaking the old mark of 2:06.12 set in 2015. McIntosh won the gold medal at the event at the 2024 Paris Olympics. A couple of notable moves in the NFL yesterday, one involving an AFC team, the other involving an NFC squad. The Houston Texans have signed running back Nick Chubb. The 29-year-old's made 4 Pro Bowls and 7 campaigns with Cleveland, but was limited by injuries the past couple of seasons. Over in Green Bay, the Packers have released Pro Bowl cornerback Jair Alexander, ending a 7-year run with the club. The move is expected to clear about $17 million in cap space. Alexander has played only 34 of the Packers' 68 regular season games over the past 4 years.
6:13 is the time, 10th morning of June. It's a Tuesday. We've got the sunshine with us, and we'll see it throughout the morning anyhow, so we'll talk about the forecast in a sec. Traffic this morning's doing fine. We got nothing to show you, so that's good, but I will show you anyhow. Here's the 403 and Waterdown Road. That's our exclusive camera. No problems right there. To some MTO traffic. Hammers in St. Catharines, QEW east of Lake. Looks good there. Toronto-bound lanes heading away from us on that shot. Here's Nikola Tesla Boulevard again. Looks fine. No problems at the 403 junction as you head just toward Brant Street there. Ford plant doing fine, and the same with the Etobicoke Creek. So obviously not a lot going on right now. Keep in mind, another day closer to the closure of the link this weekend. Friday morning until Monday morning, complete closure both ways. Oh boy. All right, let's get into our temperature that we have to start the morning here. Still sitting at 12 degrees. We do have a mainly sunny sky. We have light winds right now. Relative humidity is up there, and we will have a humidex for the day today. And for school today, we should hit 22. Now, that's a degree better than we had yesterday. Yesterday, we got to 21 with a humidex around 25. And today, we'll have, again, a humidex about 25 with that 22-degree high. A bit of a southwesterly wind. We'll start off with the sunshine and then some showers, thunderstorms. No problems once again today, like yesterday, for the air quality in the low risk category. Here's what's happening. We have a trough of low pressure. That's that broken line across southern Ontario. That could just give us a little bit of instability later on this afternoon. Tomorrow, a lovely day, and then we're right back into some showers possible as we get into Thursday with that cold front going through. So today, temperatures 22, 23 degrees, 21 a little further away from the lake, but sun will start. and then there's that chance of a shower or a thunderstorm later this afternoon. Tonight the skies will clear, so a lovely night for that strawberry moon. Maybe I'll be able to look up in the morning instead of looking down for the toads. At 12 to 14 overnight tonight, maybe I can see that. And then tomorrow, beautiful sunny day. And then the temperatures tomorrow, 26, 28 degrees, humidex values tomorrow in the low 30s. So a bit of sunny. Toronto will get a slim chance of a shower, but the rest of us should have the sunshine with just a little bit of cloud cover, but it will be warm. So out the door, 10th morning of June, we're looking at fairly sunny skies. Temperature right now, 12. Long range coming up. Annette, Rick.
All right, thanks, Brian. Coming up after the break, Canada's antitrust watchdog is suing DoorDash. We'll tell you why in a couple of minutes. All right, taking a look at some business news. The loonie is slightly lower after hitting an 8-month high last week. Trade tensions, key U.S. data are in focus as talks continue in London. Our dollar is down 16 basis points, now below 73 cents U.S. Gold is down nearly $6 an ounce, and crude is 19 cents higher to $65.48 U.S. a barrel. Checking midday trading over in Europe, markets are up in London, but down in Frankfurt and Paris.
In Asia, the markets were up in Tokyo today, down just a little bit in Hong Kong and Shanghai. Checking North American markets, yesterday the TSX closed 53 points lower, the Dow shaved off a point, and the Nasdaq gained 61 points.
Stock futures are trading near the baseline ahead of a second day of trade talks between top U.S. and Chinese officials in London today. They're working to reach a breakthrough on export controls, including rare earths, that have threatened global supply chains and slowed economic growth. U.S. imports from China are dropping at a rate not seen since the start of the pandemic. Imports from China reportedly fell more than 20% last month. American ports have seen big declines in cargo volume since U.S. President Donald Trump slapped tariffs on most U.S. imports in April. But even though tariffs on Chinese exports were lowered from 145% to 30% last month, most goods that arrived in May were booked under the higher tariff rate.
Canada's competition watchdog is suing DoorDash and its Canadian subsidiary. The Competition Bureau says DoorDash marketed its online delivery services at a much lower price than what consumers end up paying. An investigation found DoorDash customers weren't able to buy food and other items at prices advertised on DoorDash's websites and mobile apps because of mandatory fees that were added out at checkout. The Bureau alleges DoorDash has used deceptive drip pricing for nearly a decade, making nearly $1 billion in those mandatory fees.
A new report says first-time home buyers could save up to $240 a month on their mortgage through Ottawa's proposal to waive the sales tax on new builds. Desjardins Economics says the impact on housing affordability will be particularly strong for buyers in Canada's most expensive markets like Toronto and Vancouver. But the group warns that the policy could drive up demand for housing, which in the short term could push up home prices if not coupled with other efforts to boost supply. Meantime, the national average asking rent was down 3.3% in May from a year earlier, marking the 8th consecutive month of year-over-year decreases. The latest monthly report from Rentals.ca and Urban Nation shows the average for May was just over $2,100. Ontario recorded the largest rent decline in May, with asking rents falling 3.6% year-over-year to an average of $2,300. But asking rents held steady from April with a 0.1% month-over-month increase.
Okay, we're taking a quick break right now. Brian is going to be back with your traffic and your 7-day forecast.
Okay, welcome to this sunny Tuesday morning. Looking good through most of the area as far as traffic is concerned. QEW in 7th, St. Catharines, nothing to see right there. But different story, all of a sudden really slow going up and over the Skyway Bridge. This is the shot from the Burlington side looking down toward North Shore Boulevard. Really slow through there. Here looking at Third Line, once again, nothing to see. Slow here at Lorne Park, and of course you're going into the sunshine, plus you're going through, getting set to go through all the construction a little further on. And nothing at Burnhamthorpe. So generally it's just a couple of pockets of volume that we have so far this morning. Temperatures that we have so far this morning, sitting at 12 for Hamilton, 13 Mississauga, 14 Toronto. A little better for Grimsby, sitting at 16 at the moment. How about seasonal temperatures now? They're 23 for the daytime high. We didn't get there yesterday or the day before. We'll be a degree shy of that for the day today, but 12 for the overnight low. Those are our sun times and records for today. There is a chance of a little instability later on this afternoon, but this morning should be 16 degrees for the first bell going into school. Lovely sunshine, and then still some sun, but there's that chance of a shower or a thunderstorm, and 22 for later on today. So that's the forecast high, 22, 13 tonight, 26 and sunshine tomorrow. Gorgeous, almost like a summer day tomorrow. Humidex of 31. Then we get back into some instability. Thursday, showers 22. For Friday the 13th, there is a chance. It's just a slim chance of a shower, 30%. Otherwise, not a bad day for heading to Port Dover. Sun, clouds, and 19. Saturday showers. Nice day for Father's Day on Sunday, and that continues into Monday as well. That's your forecast. Annette, Rick.
I thank you, Brian. Something unusual has kept police in Tennessee busy for over a week now. A runaway zebra nicknamed Ed.
Brian, be thankful that this isn't part of your traffic forecast, because Ed caused a highway to shut down and even required a helicopter to catch him. After more than a week on the loose, Ed was finally captured on Sunday. During the search, Ed grabbed plenty of attention on social media. He was caught in a field about 70K south of Nashville, and then he was airlifted to an animal trailer, returned to his owners. Ed's owners said he escaped just a day after they got him. Yes, it is legal to own a pet zebra in Tennessee. Can you imagine you don't know what this story is about, and you're driving in Tennessee and it's like,
there's a flying zebra.
There's a flying zebra. There we go.
What if he enjoyed the view?
I don't know. He kind of looked like, oh yeah, hello,
What's going on here? Oh, I recognize that place, yeah.
It's like something out of Zootopia.
Exactly. Yes. Stay with us. More to come after the break. You're on
No
Morning
flying
Live.
zebras.
No.
And them chains, they're